Welcome back. We are back with our friends at RevoluSun today and talking about something a little bit different. John went over to learn more about solar permitting and RevoluSun's involvement in the newly formed Solar Task Force.
Getting a chance to visit with our good friend David Gorman here at RevoluSun, and today we're talking about solar permitting and RevoluSun's involvement in the newly formed, and I love the name of this, the Solar Task Force. Dave, thanks for having us down, appreciate it. Let's talk about this a little bit. What prompted the formation of the task force?
Yeah, the task force is not that new. We've been meeting for about a year, but if anybody who's done a home improvement project, it can be tough to get a building permit, right? It can take a really long time. And as we went into COVID, and even coming out of COVID, it got worse than bad. It was bad before, and it got even worse. And newly appointed director, Don Takeuchi Opuna, was kind of looking at where their volume was. And the total number of permits that they process each year, about 60% are solar permits. And so she had the really good idea, which is, if we can make the solar permits go faster, it will free up the pipe and let everything else move a little bit faster too.
I like that. So who are the key figures here at RevoluSun in the Solar Task Force, and what did they bring to the table?
So I was kind of the main one going for a while, and then as the topics kind of got more into our residential operations or our metering department, and that's where Hawaiian Electric comes into play. For a lot of that, we bring in Tiana Fujimoto, who's our director of residential operations, attends them as well. Dason Fujimoto, who is our director of technology, and then Olana Irvine, who manages all of our utility service work. They'll make kind of cameo appearances time to time to kind of push their particular agenda.
So what have you guys actually been able to accomplish with this collaboration?
So what happened originally was there's kind of two different permitting paths, right? So, because solar, we generally do kind of the same thing over and over again. There's this process, so you can actually submit single line diagrams with the equipment you're going to use normally. And those numbers typically accommodate most single family residences and the installations that we do. So commercial systems always go through a commercial review. So if it's a warehouse, if it's building, if it's a townhome, where you have lots of multi-family residences kind of interconnected together, each individual townhome has to go through a commercial review process. And that's a much longer, lengthier review because you have a bunch of multifamily residences sharing common infrastructure.
Okay, so how does that affect then townhomes? Because that's been kind of...
Yeah, so that was one of the big ones, right? So anyone that's lived in a townhome has probably had a difficult time getting a PV system for the last few years because it got so bad for us and the permitting timelines, and we're talking a year to 18 months to get a permit. It particularly makes it difficult in solar because at the time we had tax credits that would change year to year, and it would often just cause some frustration between us, the contractor, and the poor townhome owner that's trying to get a solar system and doesn't understand why it's taking so long. There's obviously a bunch of additional costs because we need to get stamped drawings from engineers and just go through a longer, more expensive permitting process. And so a lot of us in the solar industry just stopped servicing townhomes because it was a lengthy, expensive process, and that was really at the detriment of the townhome owner that still needs a solar and battery systems to save money on their electric bill.
But you're back.
Yeah, so we worked really hard on that, and I think DPP particularly saw the inequity. Like, if you live in a townhome, you can't get solar. If you have a single family home, you can't get solar. That's not fair, right? And so we worked really hard to kind of maintain some of the safety protocols that were important to them while also allowing us to accelerate the process. So the net is they've carved out a special path for townhomes, and it should take about 4 to 6 weeks longer than a regular single family residence, but that's still much faster than the 12 to 18 months that they were facing before.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations on that, brother.
Well, yeah.
I've learned a little. I hope you did too. But if you have any questions, you can always come down to Salt at our Kaka'ako. RevoluSun's on the 2nd floor. What's a good way to get in touch with you guys if not?
Yeah, so especially if you're in a townhome, hooray, you can get solar again, right? So give us a call, 808-748-8888, or go to our website, revolusun.com. Schedule a consultation. We'll come out, walk you through the process, and get this thing done, inside a year now.
always a nice visit, and we'll have that information on our website, kh12.com. Thanks, Dave.
Good seeing you, Josh.
Great information. And if it's a little confusing to you, I suggest just going down there to Salt at Arcacaaco, second floor by Orange Theory, and go talk to them, because there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, we're talking about even solar batteries, being able to take energy and then use it throughout a community of people sharing it when you're not using it, and then when you need it, that community also can share back to you. There's a ton of ways to save money, but go talk to them, because there's a lot of stuff that they have that they're involved in.
Definitely, super neat. And of course, we'll have a link to their website on our website at kh12.com.
Yep.